that have a conversation. Don't, and I'm sure, she had to grow to get there too, just like I had to grow to get here, right? But be the type of person, see, I like to talk things through. I don't like to be flaring off in my assumptions and feelings and all things like that. That's not me. I don't like to do that. I don't like to be operating off vibes. You can feel them vibes, and I'm not that type of person, especially when it's somebody close to you. When it's people close to you, excuse me, when it's people close to you, you should be able to have that conversation with our people who you say you love, your siblings, your family members. You should be able to sit down and have a conversation. Now, some people, they're so dysfunctional, it don't make sense to have a conversation with them. You just have to chalk that up to the game. Like they say, I got to chalk that up. I got to just say, you know what? It is what it is. My other live went out, so I had to come do another one because I won't be able to get back in that one. But I love her because she's the type that'll be honest and open. I'd rather for a person to be honest and open with me and to hurt my feelings than to sit back and create all types of assumptions about how I'm feeling. I'd rather for a person to have a conversation. Let's talk this through. Don't throw away a whole friendship because of a misunderstanding. Or if the friendship needs to be dissolved, because there are some friendships that need to be dissolved, right? People, people are seasonal, and that's okay. And once I was delivered from the spirit of rejection and abandonment, I'm able to let people go freely now. It's okay. I'm able to, not get attached, because sometimes when you have that spirit of abandonment on you, in that spirit of rejection, you tend to tolerate more foolishness from people because you don't want to lose them. You don't want to go through that that spirit. You don't want to go through rejection. And people could sense that on you. The spirits in them could pick that up on you. And people will exploit. You hear me? They will use you, abuse you. They will play on your heartstrings because of what you've gone through. They know you're going to be there for them. They know you're going to come through no matter what they do. They know you're going to be there. And this is why you are spiritually dying. Because you letting so many people take from you. You can't be in your pimping season. Pimping is not your priority. Peace is not your priority because you are not doing the work on yourself. Because you feel like you're going to be selfish because you're taking care of yourself. I want to be there for people. I want to be there. I want to be there for so many people right now. And I know certain people need me, and I feel like I need to be there for certain people in this season. But I also need to be there for myself. Because I went through something that was painful, that could have taken me out. And I had to get myself in a place where I'm healed enough so I can be there to pour into other people. But if I didn't do the work on me, if I didn't retreat and go and bandage my wounds, if I didn't go retreat and go do spiritual surgery on do the spiritual healing on myself, I wouldn't be any good for anyone else. Then that's another thing. Don't feel bad because in certain seasons, you can't be there for certain people. In certain seasons, you're not going to be able to be there for people. The only people who you gotta be there for, and you must be there for, are the children you're taking care of, your dependent children. You got to learn how to include them in all your seasons. If you got children that are dependent on you, you got to be there for them. You got to include them in whatever it is you going through. You can't leave them out to dry. You can't leave your dependents out to dry because they depend on you. That's why it's called dependents. They're not in a place to take care of themselves yet. Those are the only people you're going to have to stay and include in your journey of healing. You got to make time for them. You can't just abandon them. Unfortunately, you got to communicate, express, tell them, listen, mommy going through something right now. Mommy going through something right now. Be patient with me. Be understanding. You know, right now, I can't do this. I can't do that. I won't be able to do all the stuff that I used to do for you all. Be transparent. Because you got to fill up your cup. Fill up your cup. Like they say, fill up your cup so much to where you're giving people from your overflow and not from your actual cup. Sometimes the children get in that cup and they deplete you. But that's part of it. That's part of it. But in this season, peace should be your priority. Peace is my priority. Because when you go around certain people, when you talk to certain people, that depletes you. It depletes you. When you're having conversations with people and you're the one that they're pulling from, they're extracting from you. I'm a natural encourager. I'm a natural motivator. So I got to stay filling up my cup. I got to stay in a good place and space in my heart and in my mind. Because at any moment, I can be called to encourage someone. Any moment, my spirit will lead me to witness to someone, to pray with someone, to encourage them. And I got to be obedient in that. To pick up the phone and call somebody. Text somebody. Check in on you. And in the season, your spirit will also tell you, don't text them. Don't call them. Don't check up on them. Don't go around them. Don't go to lunch with them. Because for me, my spirit be protecting me. It protects me. And I'm in a season more now than ever where I listen to me. I listen to the spirit. My spirit tell me, don't go here. I'm not going there. My spirit tell me that job is not for you. I'm not going to accept that job. I don't care how much money they paying. My spirit tell me, don't let that person come to your house. You can't come into my house. My spirit tell me, don't go to that person's house. Don't go to that person's house. This is what happens when you take care of your spirit. You can listen more. You can obey more. You could trust yourself more, because see, a lot of us don't trust ourselves. We don't trust the God in us because we were taught to depend on people. We were taught to trust everybody else. But what God is telling us, you obey what God tells you, not what your preacher tells you, your pastor tells you. Yes, he's your leader. But if God told you to do something, you better do it. God told you to get out there and you pass out food to the homeless, you don't have to go through your pastor to ask your pastor, is it okay if I do this? Somebody needed to hear that. You in your disobedience. You don't have to go through your pastor to be good to people, to minister, to witness. And this is all for somebody. You don't have to be perfect to give. You don't have to be perfect to give. You don't have to be perfect to be obedient. You don't have to be walking like you walking on a cloud to be obedient to people, to help people out. You don't have to be like you holier than thou. Cause see, there is this false, this misconception where people think you gotta be walking this thin line of perfection to do what's right. I don't live in that anymore. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free to know my flesh will sometimes get the best of me and I may want to cuss somebody out. But I know I got to go repent. I know I got to repent. I know I got to go ask God to forgive me and turn away from that. Don't, Lord, ask God to take that part of me away. I'm not one of them types. I'm not one of them types because I know God is still working. And if I do something to say something out of the way, I'm going to be convicted and I'm going to have to apologize. So to keep me from apologizing, I have to have self-control. Sometimes it'll get the best of me. And if I can't go apologize to that person, I'll repent. This is not an excuse to abuse grace. But what I'm saying is you got to be free. You got to be free. And don't let people try to tell you, oh, you ain't this, you ain't that, because you're not that to them. You're not living to their standard of what being a believer and being chosen is. That's their problem. That's a them problem, not a you problem. You know you're a work in progress. You'll always be a work in progress. I know for me, I'm always a work in progress. But I know my heart is pure. When you're operating in a pure heart, that don't mean that you don't have boundaries. Because people want to make you feel guilty because they can't run over you. They can't bully you. They can't run over you. And they want to make you feel like you're not trying to live right because they can't have their way in your life. Oh no, I recognize the devil when I see it. You're not going to bully me. You're not going to run over me. You're not going to silence me. You're not going to treat me like you treat everybody else, because I'm going to stand up and I'm going to speak up for me. I'm going to speak up for me. And in this season, you got to call people out on their stuff. Call the enemy out where he shows out. Wherever you show out, you get called out. And you do it respectfully. You do it professionally. Don't do it. Don't be what they say ratchet. You don't have to do that. What I've learned, let me tell you what I learned. See, God will give you paid training. God will pay you and train you at the same time. When you working on these jobs, and I worked in management for years, supervising, management, I didn't understand why God was pulling me in that area, in healthcare. Did it for years. Loved it. But in training, God taught me I got to have self-control. He taught me I can mean what I say without yelling, without hollering, without getting an attitude, without being nasty, without having an attitude, without coming off. He taught me this. He taught me that I could still correct people and love them too. And this is where in families, this is where we got to break this curse. In some families, they think because you correct them, you judging them, you hating them, you don't like them, you think you better than somebody. And you're correcting them out of love for them because you don't want to see them head down the road of destruction. But they'll tell you You're judging them because you're just trying to correct them and say, you know what, that's not how you do that. That's not how you do that. That's not how you handle that. Apologize. But no, they want to keep sweeping trash under the rug. And then now they got a mountain of crap underneath the rug. And then it all comes falling down. They let things explode. And then you get to hear their real intentions. See, they always say a drunk man never lies. I always say an angry person never lies. When a person get angry at you or upset over whatever it is, they're going to regurgitate really how they feel about you, but they were not bold enough. They were not confident enough. They were not courageous enough to tell you how they felt. They had to wait until an opportune time where it was a environment that was cultivated to spit out all of that venom that they've been feeling in their heart towards you. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, that's what they do. Oh, that's what they do. They will wait. They will hold all that anger, jealousy, bitterness for years. And as soon as something happens to where they get the opportunity to let you have it, oh, they're going to tell you how they feel. They've been feeling that way. They've been feeling that way. They just wanted to wait till an opportune time to tell you. And this is what we got to work on. We got to work on this stuff in families. Talk about this stuff. Don't sit there. See, I know I'm starting with my children. I can't speak for nobody else. I'm starting with the ones in the house with me. We're not going to continue this dysfunctional cycle of you upset about something, and it's okay. You got we got feelings and emotions. People gonna upset us. Excuse me. People gonna upset us. But you holding a grudge, you holding stuff in, and you letting it build up, till you get to the point to where you want to unalive somebody. You got people straight out here unaliving their loved ones because they're so angry. They're so hateful. They're so mad. They're so jealous. They're so unforgiving. They letting all that build up. They letting it all build up until the opportune time to let them know I've been felt this way about you, so let me let you have it. Those are the type of people you can love from a distance. Because out of that mouth, the heart is going to speak. What's in your heart is going to come out of your mouth. Jokingly or not. That's why I tell my children, even with myself, because I'm a comedian, I'm a jokester. I have to watch what I say. Even in a joking way. But people will tell you how they feel. They will show you. See, we got to stop being. See, I used to be so ignorant. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell y'all. I'm going to be honest. I used to be so ignorant. Because I thought everybody who I loved me. I thought everybody that was blood was for me. I thought everybody that was kin to me was skin to me. I was so ignorant. I was so naive, thinking because I got a good heart and good intentions, everybody else had a good heart and good intentions. Like me, I was like, I was just so naive to the world. I heard a young lady that I listened to, Justice, say this. And I was like, I used to be the same way. You thinking people care like you care. You thinking they love like you love. You thinking they'll stop, drop, and roll like you will stop, drop, and roll for them. No, they won't do that for you. They won't do that for you. See, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what God is doing for a lot of the chosen ones. God is showing you who's for you and who's not for you. He's showing you which family members are for you and who's not for you by what you are going through, by what you experience with your children, by what you experience in your, if you're going through a divorce or separation, by what you're going through on a job, if you lost a place to stay, if you lost your means to take care of yourself. God is revealing to you who's going to be there for you and who's not. He's revealing to you who you can have in your corner, because when he take you down and he break you down, he wants you to see, when you finally lift your head up, he wants you to look to the left and look to the right to see who around you, who was there for you, supporting you. Because when he take you back up, them people, they can't come with you. They can't come with you. Whether you want to believe that or not, take this wisdom for what it is. When you go down and your head is down, and only way you can look is down, because he wants you to fall on your knees. When all you can do is look down, he wants you to fall down, so you know the only way you can go is to your knees. But when he raise your head back up and you can look up and you start back worshiping, you can lift your hands, you can lift your head, you can lift your bank account, you can lift, you can just do, you're doing better. He wants you to remember when your head was down. He wants you to remember who came around you, put their arms around you, who prayed for you, who encouraged you, who texted you, who motivated you, who called to check on you. He wants you to remember that. Not out of a place of malice and you keeping tabs and you keeping points. And that don't mean you can't be there for people, but you can't let them back in. You can't let them back into your space. You can bless them from afar. If they call you, you give. And that's what you do. You meet the need. You don't bring them back into your space. You meet the need that they're going through if they call you. One thing about me, if I got it, if a person, I told the Lord, if a person asks, I gotta give it to them if I got it. I can't say no. Because for a person to ask you for something and they never ask you for it, those people gotta be in need of it. Regardless of what they do, that's on them. But if they asking you for it, that means that they need it. I know that's how I am. If I ever ask you all to help me, oh, that means I need help. That really means I need it. But I was so naive, thinking the people who I ride or die for, they gonna ride or die for me. I was naive. I was what they call green in that area. Where I come from, they call that green. Green is grass. Don't know nothing. Naive, you don't know. And people would look at me and think that I would know, because people judge you for your outer appearance. They will judge you for your outer appearance. and thinking, assuming that you are knowing and that you're a certain way, not knowing that you're not a certain way. Like you green as grass. But that's what I want to come talk to y'all about. In this season, let this be your pimping season, your season where peace is my priority. Peace is my priority. I like to be at peace. Like they say, be at peace with all men. And not they say what the word says. But some people don't want peace. They want to bring destruction and dysfunction. And those people are the ones you got to set boundaries with. You got to set boundaries with these people who don't want peace. And you don't have to allow people into your space. If a person is not coming to you correct, what we say, come correct or don't come at all. If they're not coming into your space correct, if they're not coming into your space like they have some sense, like, they respect you, you don't have to let these people into your space. There was a time in my life where I thought I had to deal with people, certain people, because who they were attached to. Knowing these people did not bring me peace. I didn't understand. I didn't know that I could not deal with people. This how naive and green I was. I was so naive and green. I'm being transparent. I didn't know that I could deal with this person, but didn't have to deal with that person. Just because you cool with them, don't mean that I have to be cool with them. I didn't know I could do that. Because you want to love the people that you love. You want to love the people that the people you love. You know what I'm saying? You want to love the people that you love. Y'all get what I'm saying? Am I confusing you? Let me know. You want to be all right and be cool with the people you love are cool with. But I've learned that's not the case for the chosen ones. The chosen ones can't be cool with everybody. The chosen ones can't let everybody in their space. Regardless of if the person you love that person. Because the person that you love and the person that they love may not love you. The person that you love and the person that they love may hate you, but you got to be cordial because the person you love them. And it's really not love that they're feeling. It's dysfunction. Dysfunction and it's control. That's what it is. It's a form of control. I used to didn't think I could separate the two. I just thought I had to try to, get along, and I had to try to, make things right. And these people don't want to be right with you. See, chosen ones, let me tell you something. Boundaries will help you be in your pimping season. Boundaries will help you create the atmosphere of peace that you're looking for. When I tell you my phone be dry, I mean dried in some cornstarch, dry. Other than my, few good friends that'll call and, that'll text every now and then. But that's what happens when you start creating an atmosphere of peace. Because you letting people know, don't call me with your drama. Don't call me with your dysfunction. Don't call me with your issues. If you're going to call me to vent, you better be ready for a solution. because I'm solution oriented. I'm not victim oriented. I don't stay in victimhood. And I'm not going to allow a person who's venting to me stay in victimhood. If you calling me talking about your sister doing this, your sister doing that, your mama treating you this way, your mama treating you this way, that way, your daddy doing this, your daddy doing that, what's the plan? What's the plan? What are we going to do next? If you don't like how your parents' rules are in their house, maybe it's time for you to exit building. Right. Exit building left. If you don't like how your family treating you, you don't like how your siblings operate, you don't like how they're moving, they're treating you, what's the plan? Limit your access. Well, with me, we're going to come up with a solution. Your job stressing you out, right? These for the people who want to complain. If you calling me to complain, your job stressing you out, okay, now it's time to plan your exit. Exit. It don't make sense to complain. Or if you're not going to exit, we're going to create a solution. Let's tackle the issue. Let's confront the issue head on. Don't come complain to me. Let's deal with the issue. How could you get a better relationship with your mom? How could you what can you do to make it right, to do your part? How can you be responsible for your part? That's how I am. Because complaining is not going to do anything. Complaining to me, I feel, if you don't want me to give you a solution, I feel like you just want to dump on me. And I'm not going to allow that. I'm a motivator, encourager, life coach, and people talk to me all the time about their problems. But we coming up with solutions. They're not just coming to me because they just want to say, this going on, that going on. How do I get over this? How do I get over that? No, they're looking for a solution. And that's how I am. Solution oriented. Because complaining is not going to resolve anything. But that's what I want to talk about. I had to deliver that message. I had to just release that. I hope you all are having a great day. Sorry my other live ended. My phone gets that way. I don't know why. Especially when my messages go to getting good. If you listen to me on live, you already know that happens sometimes. But I just wanted to come deliver you all that message. And it's about doing the work on yourself. And in this season, excuse me, people are not going to understand you. As long as you know you got a pure heart. Because see, people, this is another thing. People will get upset at you. And they will get mad at you. And they will call you difficult or hard to get along with because they don't understand where you're coming from because they're so used to dysfunction. They see everything that they do that you don't like, right? Things that they do that you don't like, they see that as normal. You being a logical, healed being now, you see what they do as dysfunction. And you don't want to be a part of it. You don't want to be a part of that energy because it takes so much. Have you ever noticed you be around people and it's a cesspool of a certain type of energy. And when you go around, you feel like you got to always be on guard. You feel like you got to always be ready. You feel like you got to always see what's going on, what they doing. I can't be in that type of energy. Watching your back, always trying to watch. No. All this, as soon as you walk out the room, some little slick stuff is being said. Nobody don't have time for that. We're about to head into some unseen, unlived We're about to head into some times to where you're going to need all the spiritual energy you're going to need. You're going to need all the prayer. You're going to need all the endurance. You're going to need just to survive just a fraction of what we're about to see. I mean, just a little fraction of it. You're going to need your strength for that. And if you out here expending your energy and you're not filling your cup up, and you're expending your energy on things that don't make sense, that don't have no purpose, you're spending your energy on that, you're not going to be able to withstand what's to come. You're not going to be able to survive what's to come. As they say, the survival of the fittest. You're not going to be able to survive it. Because you don't have anything in your reservoir. You don't have anything in reserve to fight. You don't have anything in your reserve to fight because you don't focus on some pettiness. You focusing on pettiness. Just, I don't even want to, just foolishness. When I start doing the work on myself, when I start taking care of myself, when I retreated, when I start paying attention to what was going on around me, when I start having to face reality, my cup just started filling back up. Now I got enough to give from my overflow. I got one little spot reserved for my 12-year-old. He got a special little spot. I got to go and put some special type of energy in this little spot I have for my 12-year-old. Because he's at this place to where he's 12. Let's just say that. Enough said. So I got a special little spot for him. Because that's my baby. I got to make sure I fight to, keep him focused and to get to him and get through to him. That's a special spot. But for everybody else, from my overflow. Because he's the only little baby I have. I have an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old and a 23-year-old. But the 23-year-old is on his own. And then I have a 18 and 20. And they're not as needy as my 12-year-old. But I can still give to them from my overflow. But my 12-year-old, I got a special spot. He got to get some from this cup. I got to go in my cup for him. For him, I got to go in my cup, just at the edge. I don't have to go deep down, just at the rim of my cup. Get some of that stuff, get some of the goodness from out of there. But being that I've taken the time to heal and do the work on myself, I can give people from my overflow. I know when I need to go back in and fill my cup up. And I do that. I know when I have to go back and fill myself back up. See, there was a time where I was given so much that if you turned the cup over, nothing was coming out. For me, at least. Because I had gave everything to everybody else. Given to cups that was not pouring back into me. Giving to cups that were not pouring back into me. But now that in God's speed, he's did spiritual surgery on me. And now that I understand myself a little more, because I had that time to sit with me. I had that time to deal with me and look inward and not outward, blaming anybody else. Now I know when my cup needs to be refilled. I know who to give to, because you can't just be giving to everybody. You can't just give to everybody. You got to know who to give to, because what the chosen ones have is priceless. That's why I'm selective now. Who I go around, who I allow into my energy, who I talk to on the phone. Very selective. There was a time I pick up the phone, call anybody. Hey, girl, what you doing? Just to have conversation. I don't do that no more. I'll text, and I be careful with that. But to talk, got to be careful. Because that's releasing energy. My energy, I'm being depleted. Even coming on doing these lives depletes me. But when I know I get my downloads, I get refilled too. Something comes back in me. When I release, something comes back spiritually in me. I get filled up spiritually. God filled me up spiritually when I do these lives, because so much is taken away from me. But that's what I want to come share with you. I hope this message encouraged you all. I hope you learned something, got something from this message. I was running errands. I don't even have on too much of anything that's not, that's decent. Just my little workout clothes. But I had to come deliver this message. I had to come deliver this message. And over here, I got a block and delete ministry. Half of the times, because sometimes people be wanting your attention. I don't even take it personal. When I see any little foolishness coming in the chats, right? When I see any foolishness coming in my chats, what I'll do is I'll hide them, won't even say nothing. I'll delete them, won't even say anything. But sometimes these trolls are coming to your chats to distract you from your message. I know how to, I got a strong delete and block ministry over here. I know how to delete and block. Okay? I know how to delete and block, or go back, even when my comments, when they trying to comment something negative, because that takes too much. One thing I've learned, when you address and you give a negative person your energy, you're exchanging with them. And they take all your goodness because you're so focused on them. They'll take your goodness and run with it. And they'll leave you hanging because you gave them your attention. That's why some people who are negative, that's why they always try to get your attention. Because if you give them your attention, that gives them energy. That's why people hate to be ignored. When I know them spirits like that are operating around me, or if I can feel somebody just want me to pay attention to them, I ignore them intentionally. Because I know they're looking for my attention, and I'm not going to give them my energy. I'll turn away on purpose because I can feel that. I can feel that they want me to pay attention to them. I don't know if any of you are like that, but I can feel when people want me to pay attention, give them my attention. And I won't give it to them. Because me giving them my energy, that fills them up. With the negative person, any type of energy is good for them, negative or positive. But mostly they be wanting that controlled energy. They be wanting that energy where, watch, I can get them to watch me. I can get them to pay attention to me. I can get them to, stop and look at me. That's why I be led by my spirit. Because people be wanting you to, and I don't be living in my own world in a bubble, because I'm always, paying attention to my surroundings and watching out to see if somebody may need help or something like that. But I can tell when people are seeking that attention, they want you to look at them and watch them, or, they just want you to give them your attention. And I don't do that. I'll turn away intentionally. I say they want attention. I'm not giving them my attention. I'll turn off intentionally. I, deliberately turn away. But anyways, y'all have a blessed day. I have to get ready to go. I've been on here long enough. But I went to my favorite place, the Dollar Tree, to get one thing and end up with about 10 things. About 10 things I shouldn't have got, but I could use them. I didn't need it, but I could use it. So you all be blessed. Don't forget, my name is Monique. I am a life coach. If you need to book a session with me, the information is in the bio if you would like to book a session. I do have some availability on my calendar. Listen, I'm solution oriented, and I don't coach in victimhood. I would listen, empathize with you, sympathize with you, but we're going to figure out a way how to get out of what it is that, we are dealing with. We have to come up with a solution to get out of what we're dealing with. That's how I coach. To help you come up with a solution and to be okay with the solution. Sometimes, like for me, one thing I'm glad I learned to humble myself, and I learned to ask questions. It was so bad. I remember I was in grad school. It was so bad. When I was in grad school, my cohorts was like, let's see if Monique got any questions before we leave. Because, the teacher he wouldn't dismiss us until, we understood or, and everybody would always ask, Monique, do you have anything to say? Monique, do you have any questions? Do you have anything to say? I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't have any questions. But I'm just glad I'm not a person that is afraid to ask questions, that is afraid to say, I don't know something. I'm glad I'm just humble enough to know that I don't know everything. And I'm not afraid to say I don't know everything. I'm not afraid to say I need help. I'm just glad God put me in this space to not feel like I can't do it without people. I'll ask for help in a minute. If I need help, I'm going to ask you. You may say no, that's okay, but I'm going to ask. I'm just glad I'm not a person that's so prideful to feel like I don't need anybody. I'm just glad I'm not that person. Because we need people. We need the right people. God didn't put us on this earth to just be living alone. Just pray for the right people. He will send the right people. God will send a stranger to bless you. He did it for me. I'm going to share my testimony. I think I'm going to do it on a Zoom call, though. I'm going to share that testimony, but I want not with open on here, but I'm going to share. God will send the right people. He always come through for us chosen ones. But see what the enemy wants. The enemy wants you to be focused so much on the people who mistreating you and make you think that nobody's there for you. He wants you to be focused on so much on the people who mistreating you. He wants you to be focused so much on the people you want in your life, but they don't want to be in your life. He wants you to focus so much on that to where you're not looking at the people he's sending who's blessing you. Yes. That's what the enemy does. He wants to distort your focus. I had to learn. That's why I started journaling. Well, I've been journaling, but that's why I do gratitude. When I journal, I try to do gratitude. And when I pray, that's the first thing I do is go into gratitude. Before I ask or repent or ask for forgiveness, I give thanks for what I already have, because that keeps me focused, keeps me centered. I think about all the things that I have or something that happened in the week. And I just like, Lord, thank you for this. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for my vehicle. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for food. I try to find things to be thankful for, because that'll help me get my focus off complaining about anything. And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. Let me learn you something. As the old folks would say, y'all, has any of y'all ancestors or grandmother or old folks you've been around used to say that. I don't know if it's a Southern thing. I don't know. But they used to say, let me learn you something. Meaning, let me teach you something. I learned this from Minister Kevin L.A. Ewing, but it comes from Proverbs. It comes from the Word of God. And it's true. It's true. If you want to get your blessing, if you want to always be blessed, if you want your money to stop looking funny, let me tell you what you need to do. Give to the poor. Give to the poor. You may ask, who is the poor? The beggar. The person on the side of the road. The person who look like they struggling. The person, if you hear they're struggling, you hear they're in need of something, give to people. Give. Give to the poor. Don't worry about people who may say, how you going to give to somebody? You don't even give to your own family. Your family is not poor. Your family is not poor. They got a roof over their head. They got food. The stuff that they probably wanting is a necessity, is a want and not a need. And you may say, how do I know what they're going to do with the money? That's not your job. That's not your job. Ask God to show you who to give to. This is why I respect people don't like her, but I love her. This is why I respect Tiffany Montgomery so much. I respect her a lot because if you are part of her fast, she will tell you, you give to the poor first before you give anything. Tithing, to ministries. You take care of the poor. She tells you don't give her ministry nothing if that's what you want to do until you take care of the poor. Most people are not telling you that. Most ministers are not telling you that. Most pastors and preachers are not telling you that. They're not telling you to do that. And it's true. It's biblical. You take care of the poor first. Whether that's poor in spirit, you get them a spiritual word, whereas you take care of the poor first. That'll bless y'all. You don't need nobody to tell you that. You don't need your pastor to tell you to give to the poor. And another thing, don't take no camera out there when you doing your good deed. Don't take no camera. Don't go Facebook Live. Don't do that. Because you will not receive the reward that is due to you. Because you will be blessed. You will be blessed. When you give to the poor, you will be blessed. No doubt. Try it. You don't believe it? Don't wait till you get $1 million. Don't wait till you win the lottery. Don't wait till you get your income tax. Don't wait until nothing. Take 10 of them dollars. Go get some sandwiches, bottled water, care packages. Go to the Dollar Tree, create some little care packages. Pass them out to people. Ask the people in your group, your circle. Winter is coming. You don't need no 501c3 to ask your coworkers, your friends, your so-called sorority, fraternity, whatever. You don't need that to do good for people. You could just ask your friends in your group. Pick up a blanket, pick up a jacket, pick up a sweater. I got this Amazon, list. I got sweaters. I'm going to pass out some sweaters and gloves. I'm donating this to the homeless. Help me out. And do right by it. Don't get people money and don't do right by it. Do right. Because God is watching. He's watching your heart. The blessing will not come if you're stealing. This is how you're going to be blessed. I'm telling y'all. People want blessings, but we're not focused on helping nobody else. We don't want to give to no one else. We make excuses. We're so self-absorbed. We're so self-absorbed with what we want. What we going to do. Where we going to go vacation. It's not my fault that no, that's not the place to be. That's not the mindset to have. Because there's people out here real life struggling. Real life going through things. And you can be the angel that they're looking and praying for. But y'all be blessed. I just want to deliver that. Be blessed. Just be good. That's all. Be good to people. Just try to do good. Do good with no strings attached. Do good without wanting to be rewarded for that. Do good without people seeing you. Be a good deed sniper. That's what you do. Be a good deed sniper. A sniper, you don't know where it is. You just know it comes from out of nowhere. You don't know where it's coming from. Just show up and go. Give and go. Don't stay there to be, don't stay to be praised. Say, here you go. God bless you. Or if you're giving out sandwiches, God bless you. You don't need nobody to affirm and release you to do that. You don't have to wait till the holidays to do that. You can do that year round. 365 is a holiday. People are in need 365. I just don't want to be the type that's so self-absorbed that I don't see what's going on around me. I don't see people hurting around me.